figured I would do a stream here tonight. Actually, did one earlier, but decided to get back on. And yeah, so this is the Bullinox funded account. Down a little bit here to start the session. Probably shouldn't have traded right at open, but you know I did. So anyway, gave back a little bit of the gains from earlier today, and but I have noticed something about my trading, and that is when I get too granular, I just don't do well. I have to pretty much do my analysis in advance, and if I go on too short of a time frame, I just don't do as well as what I did today. So earlier today I made 250 in the Bullinox account, which I've given 163 of that back tonight, but 200 in the my funded futures funded account, past two Apex evals, got this Topstep one halfway done, which I'm a little bit over the consistency with them, so I have to work on that. I'm at 63%, I think is what the thing said. We can pull it up here. I think I'm at 63% on, oh, actually, I know where to do it on here, performance stats. Yeah, so best day is 63.29%. So a little bit above the consistency there on that one. So I will have to work on that. But definitely still in the game there on that one. And then what else did I do? Oh, I got a Elite Trader funding halfway done, and then also halfway done on the day traders. But if you actually, I don't need to go there. Wait, yes I do, because that one's on Rhythmic. So you can see the day traders one. So a little over halfway done here with that one. That balance is at 51,408. They also have a 50% consistency rule, just like Topstep does in eval. And then once you're funded, they do have a 40% consistency rule there on their funded accounts. So two Apex accounts done. You can use my code Blues Trades whenever they have a sale. I don't think they have a sale right now, but I had taken advantage of their 90% off sale. So yeah, I got those accounts, and then I activated one tonight. I did not activate the other one, but so I'm just gonna wait probably till next week or so to activate the other one on that, and then use payout to pay for Topstep and day traders activations. The Bullinox one is already activated. So yeah, so everything is on par there. And yeah, just work on the funded accounts and some payouts and go from there. But yeah, just I've really I felt like I read the market very, very well today. What helped me was I actually had limit order set, and that's also why I went back to Rhythmic on my Apex accounts, because Wealth Charts was not picking up my limit orders. I'm not sure why, but they just weren't filling my limit orders the way that I like them to. And the limit orders is really what helped me a lot today, as far as the Bullinox accounts and also the My Funded Futures account. That one is on Tradeovate, and then also with the Topstep and the two Apex evaluation accounts. Excuse me. So I just found out that I do much better if I already have orders set, and then let the market come to me, because when I get too granular, and go down to a small time frame and sit and watch the market, then this is what happens right here. Whereas if I just sit back and wait on the market to come to me, and do my own analyzing, then I tend to do much better than if I don't. So I just have to evaluate that. And I've run reports and statistics on when I do best, what sessions I do best on. And, for the longest, I did not touch New York at all. I would only trade, Asia and London. And, I would do pretty well. And then I would turn around and do horribly in New York. Now it seems like it switched a little bit. And again, I think it's because I've been analyzing at night and then setting the orders and then letting them fill during the day. I know it's kind of a different approach. Most people probably aren't going to take that approach, but it's been working well for me, and I have to stick to what works for me. So, this has been about a 2-year process for me, trying to just use myself as a science experience, so to speak, and figure out what works and what doesn't. And I feel like I'm finally getting to the place where I have compiled all that information and put it all together, and I know what works and what doesn't. So I was watching Alpine stream today, and he was kind of talking a little bit about a similar thing, whereas you can't really teach somebody how to trade. And I commented and said, well, I think you can teach them a system, but they have to make it their own. And, I remember when I first ran across the Strat, and I was talking to Rob Smith, and, the creator of the Strat, and he told me, he said, the Strat will customize itself to you. And it took me a long time to figure out exactly what he meant. But, the Strat can be as complicated or as simple as you want it. When I first started trading the Strat, I only traded the breaks of inside bars. Then I moved on to reversals. Then I added a little bit of ICT with, the fair value gaps. Because what would happen with the Strat was it would trigger, then come back in, hit the fair value gap, then trigger again. Well, that's another thing that Rob always said about the Strat was you don't have to be the first one in. It's taken me this long to figure out exactly what he meant by that. So, there were a lot of gems that he dropped that, has taken a long time to figure out. And, God bless him and rest his soul, because, he passed away, probably almost 3 years ago now. So I really, miss him a lot, but man, I'm so thankful about, the things that he taught with the Strat, and it's really helped my trading journey for sure. And I'm glad I learned, took the time and learned all aspects of the Strat. So, I'd highly encourage you to learn the Strat. Again, you can learn a system, but nobody can really teach you how to trade. You have to make it your own. And I think it's kind of like, personal finance. That's why it's called personal finance, because it's personal to you. Everybody has different things going on in their life, and, we don't always make the best decisions. It's kind of a, life is kind of a learn and live situation. But yeah, so, I'm at a place now, though, where I feel much more confident with my trading than I did. I feel like over this past year that I've really grown by leaps and bounds. And, so we'll just keep on keeping on. But, I heard an older gentleman today, who's been trading for many years, say something that really, I guess it was a good reminder, because, he was talking about, live to fight another day, right? Like if you go out of business, if you don't have any money to trade the next day, when they were trading in Chicago on the floor, they just they couldn't show up, they couldn't trade. So and if that kind of goes for these accounts as well, once you're funded, I was kind of in that whole process of, who cares, I'll just buy another one, right? And that's an easy trap to fall in, because the evaluations are cheap, or it's not that much to activate it, that sort of thing. So it's just I feel like it's an easy trap to fall into. Whereas, if you take the approach like, hey, lose a couple $100 today, then I'm just done, and that's that. I've gone to really setting risk parameters to keep myself from over trading. I've blocked certain symbols, just whatever it takes, right, to be able to live to trade another day. Because if you run out of, as the saying goes, dry powder, you don't have any powder to execute the next day, or to fire with, if you blew your account and you got to start over. So, and if you're in that cycle, I know it's easier said than done, but you just got to take a step back and, maybe walk away from a session. I like that, on Project X, you can lock yourself out for an entire session if you want. You can lock yourself out for as little as 5 minutes or something. But yeah, take a break, walk away, come back, fresh mind, fresh set of eyes, or maybe just let some time pass, let the market do its thing, set up, and then you can take a trade. I've started implementing that too. Let some data play out, let the market move, and then you can come back and execute. Or maybe it's setting orders in advance like I've been doing, and that's been working out well. So yeah, you just lots of tricks in the book, I guess you could say, that you could do to help yourself out. So yeah, lots of tricks in the until I can figure out how to see the chat. I have to open it on another device, so I can see it before. I can't figure out this. I'm using Streamlabs, and I can't figure out how to show the chat, versus when I did on OBS. Oh, I'll try to get it figured out. The other thing I decided was, I am not going to be loyal to any one firm. For the longest, I was. And I recently decided that wasn't in my best interest. So, I think it's good to not put your eggs all in one basket, because I felt like I did for far too long. So that's why I'm trading with Apex, Topstep, my funded futures, Bullinox, day traders, elite trader funding. I do not have a take profit trader account yet. That's next on the list. So I plan on adding one of those probably next week, maybe 2 weeks away. But I would really prefer to use payout money to purchase a take profit trader account. It's not a ton of money. I mean, I think you can get one for $119. Not the best deal out there right now, but certainly not a bad deal either, especially with no activation fee. You just pay that one-time fee. But Bullinox right now, on the 50K, you can use my code Blues Trades and get an account for less than $16. It's $15.75 because I just bought another one a few minutes ago. So feel free to use my coupon code Blues Trades there for the Bullinox account. I'm really hoping to get the Topstep account passed here this week. I don't know 100% for certain if I will, but especially since I had a good day on it today and it pushed up my consistency to 63%. So I need to have another good day to bring that consistency back down under 50% with them. And I don't know. I think I'm about on track with day traders because they also have a 50% consistency rule. They have 80% off. I will drop my link, and you can use my link on day traders as well. And that's also my code Blues Trades with them as well. But I think you absolutely have to use my link. You can't just use the coupon code with them. With Bullinox and Apex you can. So Blues Trades for both of those firms, you can just type in my coupon code and then I'll get the whole whopping $5. Actually, well, it's $5 on 80% off at Apex. I think I make a whole $2.50 with the coupon code at when they're 90% off. So still not a ton, but I will drop that in the I will drop the day traders link in the account as well, or in the chat. I'll just drop it in the chat. You should be able to see it in there. I may go back and be able to edit it in the video and add the link there too. Okay, I just dropped it in the chat. I try not to get involved in the drama, but Apex, it's no secret, especially now that Apex and day traders don't like each other, but you know what? That's their fight, not mine. I still very much fully support Apex. I like day traders rules. Apex has a lot of rules, so if you can abide by those rules, you can scale at Apex like no other firm out there. That because you can have up to 20 funded accounts with them, and you make just a few dollars per day copy traded across 20 accounts. It's by far the best firm out there for that. Again, I think Apex is best for two things. Number one, when they have a sale and you want to buy some accounts and you want to practice on those accounts, it's a great way to practice and learn. I am super thankful to them for that. I felt like it allowed me to really learn how to trade with a little capital outlay, because they have so many you can purchase so many accounts at $16, $17, $18. I think they've gone up recently, even on their sales. I think it's $18 now for an account. So I am super thankful to them for that. And the owners of the company, at least one that I'm familiar with, I think he is an incredible guy. And he created a great company. I do not, however, like all the rules. When they started changing and implementing rules, it's more difficult for my trading style, because I like a little more leeway. In some cases, it's helped me slow down, and I feel like become a better trader. But at the same time, I feel like because of their negative 30% rule, their 30% consistency rule, the contract sizing rule, that's the biggest issue I have with them, because I don't always use consistent contracts. Some trades I may go 3 to 5 micros. Some trades I may throw on 2 minis. And with them, they want consistency across all your trades. I get it. I understand where they're coming from. But it just, I think the best way to approach Apex is, if you're a more consistent trader, you're more experienced, buy 20 accounts, copy trade them all, make $200 per day with however many contracts you usually trade per trade. If it's 1 mini or 2 to 3 micros, but make sure it's absolutely consistent across the board. Don't deviate from that, and you'll probably have no issues whatsoever. But I think that's the best way to approach that. That's just my opinion. Other people have other experiences with them. I have friends who have gotten paid, anywhere from $16,000 to $40,000 in a month with Apex. So they absolutely do pay their traders, for sure. I know there was a lot of controversy with that they didn't. They absolutely do pay their traders. I have nothing bad to say about Apex as a company. And I like, I have some friends who work there. I know some people who work there, so I have nothing bad to say about them at all. Except my only issue is I don't like trading consistent contract sizes every single trade. I think it's hard to make a lot of money in one shot. Now, again, if you can be super consistent, make $50, $100, $200 per day, and be able to walk away, then yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't still be buying accounts with Apex if I had an issue with them. I'll just say it like that. Again, I passed 2 today, so I've got no issue with that at all. My thing is, I'm gonna have to be like, I'm just gonna have to play by the rules and be super consistent in order to get a payout. I love trading at Topstep, where it's like, okay, I want to go in a mini on this trade because the setup is phenomenal, and make a lot of money. Then yeah, if the setup isn't phenomenal, maybe I'm busy at work, and I would just want to, but I think the market is still going to go in my direction, and I want to put on a micro and let it run so I don't have to worry about the trade. then yeah, I'm going to do that. And Topstep isn't going to punish you for different, using different contract sizes. Again, there's so many firms out here now. I think it's best to trade with whatever fits your trading style. Or do like most traders now, just trade them all. Just remember which firm you're trading with at the time so that you can follow their rules. So yeah, that's pretty much where I am. Again, I fully support Apex. I just don't agree with all the rules that they have, but they have to do what's best for them as a firm, and their house, their rules. So, and they get to set those rules. I don't like 3-2 blackjack in Vegas either, but guess what? I don't set the rules. They do. Not a big blackjack player anyway. Or actually, I'm sorry, it's 6-5 now, not 3-2. But yeah, they changed it. So, a lot of blackjack players, they definitely don't like 6-5, and you shouldn't play 6-5. I don't like 000 roulette. That's silly. I'm not going to put my money on a roulette machine in Vegas. At most double, but prefer single. So, because the house has the edge. Well, the house always has the edge anyway, but they have even more of an edge at 000 than they do at double or single. Just same as 6-5 blackjack versus 3-2. They got more of an edge. They got more of an edge with 6 decks versus a single or double. Even though it might cost you more money from the beginning, they got more of an edge. So, you just, trading is still math. At the end of the day, you have to know, do you have an edge? So that's kind of my little rant. Trade them all. Trade them all. Trade them all, get payouts, and, go on with your life. And happy 89th birthday to my favorite bluesman, Buddy Guy. Today is his birthday. If you guys ever get a chance to see him, he is still touring. I'd highly encourage you to go see him. I don't know when Apex will run a sale again. They just ended a 90% off sale, which I was thankful I was able to take advantage of. But yeah, I don't know when they'll run another sale. Probably back to 71% if I had to guess. But you could use my code BluesTrades at Bullinox for 91% off right now. Get you 50K for less than $16. Topstep never runs sales, but they're $49 for 50K and $149 to activate. My funded futures, I would use I got one under their one of their legacy accounts, which they're calling their legacy accounts now. I have the Starter Plus plan with them, but now they have one called the Core. So I guess it just depends. I don't know if you can get their legacy accounts. I literally bought that account the night before they announced their changes, so I was lucky there. Yeah, so there's that, and then let's see what else is out there. Oh yeah, take Profit Trader. I'm sure they're probably still having their 40% off sale. Think my buddy Alpine's code is ALP. I don't know. I would need to ask. Or you can use 0-Day J's code. Or you can use Pine Tree's code Pine. So you can use that code for Take Profit Trader 49, or yeah, I think they're 40% off, no activation fee. I'm pretty sure they're still running their deal. Gosh, I remember when it was just Topstep and Apex. Those pretty much were your choices. Topstep and Apex. Now there's Topstep, Apex, My Funded Futures, Take Profit Trader, Trade Day. No one ever talks about Lilu. I don't even know. I'm sure they still exist. Tick Tick Trader, the Futures Desk. I don't know. There's so many. There's so many. It's insane. It's almost impossible to keep up with who's doing what rules are where, and all those sorts of things. So, I mean, I've recently just added day traders and My Funded Futures and Bull and Ox. But for the longest, I was just trading Apex, and then I tried Topstep and got a payout at Topstep. It's been a few months, but yeah, I got a payout at Topstep, and then I just recently added My Funded Futures and Bull and Ox and day traders. So those are the ones that I added, and I'm pretty certain I'll add a Take Profit Trader as well. The thing I love about Take Profit Trader, even though I don't have a funded account with them, but the thing I love about Take Profit Trader is you can take day one payouts above, what they don't say is this, above your buffer. They just say, oh, you can take day one payouts. Not really. It's a great marketing tactic, but no, not really. You have to be above your buffer. They just leave that. That's the small print, right? It's important, but it's the small print. And I remember when Apex you didn't have to keep the buffer. They were going to do away with it, and then they caught a lot of flack, and then it went on for several months that you didn't have to keep the buffer, and then they implemented that you have to keep the buffer. I don't blame them for saying you have to keep the buffer, but you have to keep the buffer. You have to keep the buffer at Bull and Ox. Day traders also went through the same thing. You didn't have to keep the buffer. Then all of a sudden that went away, and now you have to keep the buffer. So, which in all actuality, in defense of every single prop firm that says you need to keep a buffer, it's in your best interest to keep a buffer. Because what happens is, as most traders experience, they take a payout and then they blow their account. I've been victim of it. I don't want to say victim because it was my own doing. Victim is not the right word. Victim is when you can't control something that happens to you. I did it to myself, so there's that. But a lot of traders do it to themselves. They take the payout, blow the account, start all over, and it becomes a cycle. And it becomes a cycle too easy to fall into because you work towards it, build your buffer, take your payout, then you're like, oh, I got the reward, right? Like, kind of like I got the last cookie in the jar, and then what happens? There's no more cookies left. So it's kind of just kind of the same scenario. But so yeah, it's best to leave your buffer. I feel like it's a responsible thing to do. The last time I took a payout on Topstep, actually, I didn't leave enough buffer, and then I blew the account, and I was like, well, I'll just start all over. So again, it's an easy cycle to get into and to repeat, But if you have a buffer, you know what your buffer is, then you can kind of be more responsible and not blow your account after you take a payout. And let's face it, it's much harder to start all the way over than it is just to leave your buffer and then take a payout, and then you've got your buffer built for the next payout. So it's much easier to do it that way than it is to keep starting over. So we'll take a look. This is ES here on Topstep. Here's the Bullinox account. 2 up on the day. Very handsomely 2 up on the day. Probably somewhere around 23,800 we might see a slight pullback. Not trading advice, it's entertainment purposes only. You can do what you want with your account. I don't know. Are we going to see the psychological 24,000 this week? I guess it's highly possible. If we keep going tonight, through all these sessions, and then New York, we're less than 300 points away. We got jobs data on Friday. I guess it's not out of the realm or possibility. We could see 24,000 this week on NQ. I don't think there's any prop firm that's perfect. I just don't. I don't think the perfect prop firm exists. They all have their pros and cons, every single one of them. It just depends on what fits best for your trading style and you. Steady going to the highs on NASDAQ. All-time highs. Everybody that was complaining about their retirement accounts in January, you don't hear them complaining right now, do you? I bought the dip somewhere around April, and I almost timed it perfectly. Thankfully. Let's see, January. Let's go to January's low. And I'll show you something that I kind of learned recently. It seems to be fairly accurate from what I can gather. So the Bollinger Bands. So where we fell in January, right here. You can see these. You can see right here. So where we started crossing down in January was right here. So 22,178. If you want to mark that roughly, we'll just put a, I don't know if we can do a command. Oh, I don't know. I want to do that. We'll just do a horizontal line here. We'll just do roughly, what was it I said? January. Why I can't get it? I just want to do like a horizontal line. Why can't I do a horizontal line? Let's do somewhere around here. Let's move it up. Come on. Really? Okay. Close enough. Alright. So, we'll put it there. Okay? Now, basically, with this guy, this was this guy's theory. That wherever you fell from, you were going to return back to. So, right here, we came back to it in June. And now we've gone higher. So, that's his theory. He doesn't say, what the timeline on that is. Just that eventually you will come back to that. So if you go back and you look at every time you fell, there's April 24, right? We bottomed back to where we fell. Bottom, back to where we fell. Bottom, back to where we fell. So every time that we fell in the month or whenever we fell, we've come back to that and gone higher. That's his thing. The point from which you fall, you will then go back and then you will come back to and then higher. So yeah, it's a very interesting theory. I mean, if you go back to April of 2022, NASDAQ was at 15,221. We fell through the middle of the Bollinger Band, came down, bottomed out in September of 2022, then back through it in May of 2023, and we haven't looked back. We came close there in April. That was the bottom, and then higher. So each time we crossed that, middle Bollinger Band, from whence we fell, we've come back to it and then higher. He uses it on a much smaller time frame, obviously. I think he probably even goes down to, the daily, hourly, 4-hour, that sort of thing. But yeah, that's his theory. I can't remember the guy's name, but it stuck with me, and I really, really liked what he had to say about it. I think it's interesting. I don't know if he goes with a close below. Probably does, if I had to guess. But yeah, so like right here on the 22nd of July, we closed down through it. Then once 2023 265, we haven't seen it since. So it's a very, again, and that's a 4-hour chart, but very interesting theory. Kind of interesting. I guess you could mark it, and let's just try it out. Let's just try it on a 2-minute. Who cares? I'm not gonna trade it, but I'm gonna mark it. So let's see. Close below, back above, close below, back above. Haven't closed below since. Oh, I don't know. I don't really use Bollinger Bands, but again, this guy had a very interesting theory, and I liked it. So it was just kind of interesting to see. I like to hear different people's take on the market. Feel like I learn a lot from them. Alright, I am going to get off here. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I hope you have a good night. Be interesting to see what the rest of the session, an overnight session, brings. We're getting ready to come up on a new 4-hour candle here shortly, in about 22 minutes. This candle has been 2 up two up, two up, two up. So we had an outside candle today on the 4 hour, and then this session has been two up. Yep, so I was able to catch some of that bottom there. Passed one of my Apex evals on copper today. Shoot, I meant to look at that too when it opened back up. I guess it's not open just yet. Maybe it is. I can't tell if it's open or not. Yeah, it is. It's moving. So it's open. That bid-ask spread is wide, but it's open. But yeah, I passed it actually on some of this bounce right here earlier today. See if we can go down. It bottomed. It came up through here. If you look on a smaller time frame, when it bottomed, I practically bottom ticked it. It was wild. I literally caught it probably somewhere around in here, and it just whoosh, before you know it, it was like I was up almost $2,000 in an Apex eval, and I was like, ooh, close. So yeah, I passed that eval on that copper trade. It was wild. Oh, not gonna mess with it here in my funded account. I don't really trade copper all that often, but if you wanted to, you're definitely inside a mother bar here, even on the 5-minute. Feeling a really, really risky. You could do 49.90, 44.95 as your bottom. We had an outside bar here. This is probably inside here on this 5-minute. And then, but maybe pivot machine gun back up through here. Again, if you're feeling a little risky with a 49.95 or 44.90, 44.995. So $4. I'm guessing this is how it goes. I don't know. I don't really trade copper. But yeah, I don't know. Some sort of news hit about Trump and tariffs, and what else is new, right? But yeah, I don't know, man. It might be we might have found a little bottom here temporarily, at least on copper, but I'm not really feeling that frisky to put a funded account on the line. You know what we can do though? We could put a combine on the line. I'm not really liking that now that I look at it on the daily though. We're close to going 2 down on the day. I would put an order out here at 42,135, but maybe 44,065, 42,10, 41,75 potentially. I don't know. Again, I don't really trade copper, but we're about to go 2 down on the day. I don't think I'm gonna risk that. On second thought, we're going 2 down on the day. Nope. Even though I'm a reversal trader, probably best not to go. Probably best not to go against a daily signal on a 2 down when it hasn't found a bottom or TTO'd. I'll wait for a proper reversal signal probably before I would trade copper. Yeah, 2 down on the day, barely 2 down, but you got some liquidity, you get a bunch of liquidity here, these areas. So anyway, hope you guys have a great night. Again, feel free to use my coupon code BluesTrades at Bullinox, Apex, and you'll have to use the link to DayTraders I'm waiting on an affiliate code for my funded futures. And yeah, the other ones have given me affiliate codes, but I'm waiting on the one at my funded futures. So, all right, hope you guys have a great night. Take care. Thanks for tuning in.